Good evening. We're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. Dr. Thomason, roll call.
President Reese, members of the board, please let the record show that we have all 5 board members here and present tonight. And I would like to add that I would like to personally thank the board with deep gratitude for this emergency meeting tonight. In a year of first in Arizona education, we have shown tremendous support and dedication to our teachers and our staff in Arizona. And this meeting was put together last minute. And we know you all have worked very hard today, and that I thank you very much for taking time to meet for our teachers and our staff tonight. Thank you very much for your incredible support for our teachers and staff within the Higley Unified School District. It is greatly appreciated.
All right, we're going to go ahead with our moment of silence and followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. And I just ask that we keep all the victims of the recent school shootings in our thoughts. We'll go on to the approval of the agenda. I move that we approve the agenda as presented. Second. Any questions or comments regarding the agenda? All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. 3.1 are action items. I move that we approve the distribution of the additional funds allocated by the governing board to K-12 schools for salary increases as presented.
Support.
Any questions or comments? Mr. Glover?
How did you know? Thank you, President Reese. Well, just a couple of comments, and this is for teachers and everybody to consider. But first of all, I wanted to thank the superintendent. If you've seen the size of the raise, I think it's better than probably anybody else in the area is getting for teachers. And that's a credit to superintendent, who's a good manager of money and a good money manager, Mr. Holland, and the cabinet. So just a moment to say thank you for that. I did see that, you know, the HAA and the committee agreed upon this number, and that's fine. I'm glad we have a committee and people were involved in that. But as we move forward and more money becomes available to teachers, just something to think about for all of us. The classified staff is getting 5%, and I'm happy that they are getting a raise. But you know, 50 cents an hour compared to when you get, you know, like 11% of 48,000. As we get more money, let's seriously consider a livable wage for some of our low wage earning classified people. The schools can't operate without them. And anyway, that's down the road. We can think about that as more money and the Red Fred movement, I guess, keeps rolling. And then along those lines also, HEA, if your HEA is out there, we really should meet and confer and just try to get the classified folks more involved in the process as well. I think that we all benefit when we all have input into the process. So I would love to see that. And you know, with the 11%, the 10% really, the governor and the legislature put all of us in a bind. So there really wasn't any choice. But you all found money to put in to the classified staff. So I'm happy about that. And the other thing I just want to say is, you know, it's easy for us to demonize administrators. It seems to be a popular thing to do, but our schools can't run without administrative staff. And you know, you always hear, well, you know, admin shouldn't get anything, and they're getting the least of all. But we have to be careful if teachers get a 20% raise and we really neglect our admins, at some point we won't have any admins, and we can't really operate without them. So they're not bad people, and they do make more than everybody else. But anyway, so I just wanted to say that. And oh, there's one last thing. So this is a weird thing. This is a Higley thing, I think, but it's historical, and I think it's something we should think about. So with an 11% raise, and I do talk to teachers, and I do hear this idea, and you're right, you're completely justified when you say this, that in the past, historically, and Ms. Martins, you're new, but I think you probably have heard about what I'm about to say, is there's this notion, and it was true, that people in the past maybe were leapfrogged, or there was some favoritism, and some people got raises and some didn't, and we're working really hard to make sure that things are fair and equitable. And so I hear some of our veteran teachers often say, well, do we get anything because we were here the longest? And at some point, we're going to have to get past this idea of reparations. We as a board are all trying to do the right things and give raises equally and make sure people are put where they're supposed to be. And we're going to have to probably get past some of those hurt feelings. And we're trying to equalize things as best we can. But with 11%, we're in pretty good shape. So it's just food for thought. We're all in this together. So anyway, that's enough for humoring me.
President Reese. I just wanted to say that I'm so impressed with your resolve teachers, and that you did more in a week than our legislatures and lobbyists did in years. And so hats off to you. I'm just honored to sit here today with these numbers before me. I'm honored that I get to be a part of this today, and historical is definitely a word that comes to mind. So hats off to you guys. Thank you.
Very nice. Any other questions, comments? And I want to echo both what Mrs. Kaler and Mr. Glover said. Teachers did this, educators, non-educators that were out there, and gave us the ability to be able to have extra funding, to be able to give increases that our staff so much deserves. And I thank everyone who was part of it, all of our administrative staff, cabinet, the meet and confer teams. If you don't know, it kind of went back and forth a couple times with, this is what we have, this is okay, can we look at this? So I think it was a really collaborative effort. So I appreciate everyone's work with that. And so with that, if we don't have anything else, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. And we'll go on to 3.2, and I move that we approve increasing the certified teacher base salary by $2,000 to $40,000 a year.
Second.
Any questions or comments regarding that? Mr. Glover?
Just moved. Well, for the good of all, I did ask Dr. Thomas, and I know you know this is true, there will be no situation where a new first-year teacher will leapfrog over anybody who's already been here in Higley with these numbers. So that's important, and that's kind of what I was referring to in the past about how people would leap over one another. So even with these numbers, they're shaking your head, and yes, there will be no leapfrogging. So we think about these things for all the people who are here and have struggled and suffered with us. So that's all.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. All right. Thank you for your time. I move that we adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
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 Motion carries 5-0. Thanks for
Have
coming.
a happy summer, everybody.
Yes.